You want water, you want Dr. Pepper, you want Coke. We don't control them things. You want water at the tap. Severn Trent water is not controlled by our people. You get me? The clothing on your back is made by China, Taiwan, etc. Do you get me? Read on.
And in one of all things,
in fact, anything you want, a passport, driver's license, education, birth certificate, death certificate, you name it, we've got to go to other people for it. Read on.
Right. And he shall put a yoke of iron.
He shall do what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron.
Brothers, have you got a phone there? Take out one of your phones, please. And then go to Google. Go to Google for me. Right, you there? All right, spell it for me. Yoke of iron.
Y-O-K-E.
Type in Y-O-K-E. Of what?
Of iron.
Of iron.
I-R-O-N.
Yeah, so type in yoke of iron and then go to images, please. And tell me what you can see. Let's see if Google knows who you are.
That's right.
That's right.
Chinese man? The white people? It says something.
Indian man.
So, now, hold on for a second. This is Moses prophesied this over 3,000 years ago. This is the greatest secret on earth, and that's your true identity. Because what I'm looking at here, you man don't realize that you're the true king on earth. You get me? Your foreparents is King Solomon, King David, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are your great-great-granddaddies. Why do you think you're the only person on the planet who haven't got your own surnames? If I say Mr. Wong, who are you going to think of? If I say Mr. Singh, Mr. Khan, in the man, innit? If I say Mr. Johnson, it could be a so-called black man or a so-called white man.
Jeremiah 17 and verse 4.
Check this.
And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
What does the word discontinue mean? Right. So we would what? Read it again.
And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
So we'll be cut off from our heritage in Lost Man's statutes, all right, which was given to us by Moses, by the Most High God. Read.
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
So now we have to go and serve our enemies. Every time in the Bible we're rebellious, the Most High puts us into slavery under the other nations to punish us, just like any good father. Have you guys got kids? Brother or sister who's younger than you? Yeah? Alright. If older than you, right? Check this out, right? Yeah, nieces and nephews. If your nieces and nephews were being disobedient to their parents, what would happen? They'd be in trouble, right? Alright. The Most High is the God of Israel alone. And he said, if you do this, you'll get blessings. If you don't do it, you get curses, just like any good father. Do you get me? Right? So read on. Is there any more on that?
1 second. No, that's it, man.
Let's back to the curses then.
Back to the curses.
All right.
Finish in verse 48.
Yeah, 48.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until they have destroyed thee.
So that happened to us, right? This is Moses speaking about ourselves. Let's get verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now, when we was in Egypt, we was slaves under Pharaoh. Are you aware of that? That history? Yeah? All right. So when we was in Egypt, we were slaves under Pharaoh, building the pyramids and all that. In Egypt and stuff, right? We were the ones that built that under the Egyptians, okay, under Pharaoh. Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Moses came and rescued us and took us out of Egypt and took us to the promised land, okay? But God says that he'll put us back into Egypt again. Now, we didn't go back into Egypt physically, so this word Egypt means something else. Let's show you what the word Egypt means. Let's get it. Exodus 20 verse 2.
Exodus 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Land of Egypt?
Out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage, because Egypt is synonymous with bondage or slavery. Read what you got, verse 68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So God would put us back into Egypt or slavery again.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
Hold up a second. With ships. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So because of our disobedience, we wouldn't see our homeland no more. Your true homeland isn't Africa. It's the land of Israel. That's our homeland. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Hold up a second. Read that part again. When we get off these ships, what's going to happen to us?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Wasn't we sold to our enemies? On auction blocks. Read.
For bondmen.
For slave man.
And bondwomen.
For slave woman.
And no man shall buy you.
And no one's going to rescue us. I couldn't save you. You can't save me. I couldn't save you neither, and you couldn't rescue me. Do you get me? Because we're all in it together.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The only one who can save us is the Black Messiah. Why am I saying Black Messiah? Any ideas why? All right, who's this? I won't keep it too long, right? But who's that? That's what they're saying, it. All right? We're here to tear down the lies, because our people have been lied from the next level. You get me? All right? Let's get it real quick.
Revelation 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
All right, quick one. Brother, who's that? Jesus, right? All right. Yeah, that's right. That's your respect. Let's get it real quick.
The revelation of Jesus Christ. Wool.
Wool in there. So the root word of revelation means the revealing or to reveal something. So read it again.
The revelation
The revealing
of Jesus Christ.
So we're going to reveal what Jesus Christ really looks like. Go to verse 11 for me.
Verse 11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last.
So this is John under Patmos. He sees Christ, and Christ says, whatever you can see of me, write it in a book. Read on.
Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest,
Whatever you can see,
write in a book.
So let's see what Christ looks like. Let's get it. Verse 14.
Verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool.
So first of all, the hair on his head and the hair on his face is white, is the color, and wool is the texture. What people on the planet have got woolly hair? You're right. Is that woolly hair? That's like stringy hair. Yeah.
That's woolly hair that you got, brother.
All right. Have you brothers ever heard of Oxford University? It's a world famous university, isn't it? Let's see what they know that we don't know. Let's see what they're hiding from us that we don't know. Let's go to one of their books, the Concise Oxford Dictionary, and let's go to the word wool. Read what you got.
Wool. Negro's hair.
What?
Negro's hair.
This is a wrap. Right.
Wool. Negro's hair.
Let's get some more. So read on.
So his head and his hairs were white like wool.
So white and woolly. I've got some white strings, you know, like coming through here. Right? Read
As
on.
white as snow.
Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
When our people drink, especially red wine, the whites of our eyes go red. Today we call it bloodshot, but all it means is just red eye. You get me, right? Read on.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So now his feet, that's brass. That's brass. Bro, put your hand there for me. Right. So already, that's a wrap already, isn't it? But let's see how dark Christ was. Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So let's find some burnt brass now. That's burnt brass. Bro, put your hand there for me. That's burnt brass. Do you get me? That's burnt brass. Bro, that looks like you. Do you get me? Christ looks like you. Why? Because he's Israelite just like you.
That's
Do you
right.
get
That's
me?
right.
And it's been hid from us, fam. I'm sick of the lies. Only don't realize how great you are. In fact, let's read it one more time. Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
You see it there? Amos 3 and 1.
Amos.
Any questions so far, brothers? Have you noticed, right, with our people, we've got loads of black and black crime. And our people are just in the ends. And we ain't got nothing for ourselves. Let me get that in a minute, you see, and show you why.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord have spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Oh, who?
O children of Israel.
So, brothers, who are you according to the Bible? So listen to what's being said here now, right? Check this, read on.
Against the whole family which I brought up out of the land of Egypt.
Because we was took out of Egypt by Moses. Read.
Saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Read that part again, nice and slow.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So he only knows the children of Israel of all the families on the earth. Why do you think we're the only people getting punished? Read it again.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Read.
Therefore I will punish you of all your iniquities.
This is why we're the only ones who get punished when we're disobedient. Joel 2:27.
Joel 2 and verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
Have you noticed it's always Israel, 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 Israel? Do you know what I'm saying? All right, read on.
That I am the Lord your God.
Who's God?
Your God.
Our God. Read.
And none else.
And what?
And none else.
And everybody else.
None else.
He's only the God of Israel. This is why when we're disobedient, we're the only ones that get punished, because most of us only been with the children of Israel.
That's
You
right.
get me? In the Christian church, they'll say, oh, God loves everybody, yada, yada, yada. I'll challenge any pastor, anybody to like show me the Bible. It's not in the Bible. You get me? He's only dealing with the children of Israel. You get me? All right? So that's us. We must keep the commandments, brothers.
That's it.
Very quickly, right? Deuteronomy 28. 'cause
Deuteronomy 28.
We're going to wrap it up soon. Deuteronomy 28.
Yep.
I'm going to go to verse 54.
Deuteronomy
this
chapter-
is black and black crime prophesied by Moses over 3,000 years ago.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you.
Because our brothers back in the day was kind to each other. Do you get me? I wouldn't look at you, you see, in a certain way, and like, and like grudge you. You know what I'm saying? I would give you maximum respect. Why? Because you're my brother. Read it again.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate,
What's going to happen?
his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His what?
His eye shall be evil toward his brother,
That's black and black crime. Read on.
and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Which he shall what?
Which he shall
Have you
leave.
noticed, you see, in our community, it's known in our community that the black man would like lay with a woman, get her pregnant, and then dip. Single parent families is what's being prophesied.
Let's read it
by
again.
Moses. Read it again.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
You know
So-
what I'm saying? So, brothers, in church and stuff like that, you see, right? Religion was created by these people here.
You passed it.
All right, cool. Is it further more?
No, I think it was one page that way. So.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Religion was created by these people here. Baptist Church, created by John Smith. Pentecostal, this guy here. Mormons, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists. All Christianity was created by these people. Guess what these people have in common? Yeah, that's definitely true. And what else? They were all slave masters.
That's right.
You get me? They were all slave masters. And they gave us religion when nowhere in the Bible is religion. What's in the Bible is do's and don'ts. It means as my